And we are live, queuing up the theme song for today's show, which is Everyday's Show. Try that again.
Yeah, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah.
It's a new experience.
Yeah, keep your ears open for this one now. You got a question for RLN? Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Oh, now we getting real. Yeah, time to get down. Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Real good. That's what I'm talking about.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. I am your host, global happiness specialist, inner peace practitioner, oracle, Reiki practitioner, fitness instructor, mother, but most importantly, a student, ongoing student, always learning, always growing, always practicing. And when I say happiness specialist, the hell, what the nerve of her, they're happy. Ah! Bah, humbug. Well, what I want to share is when I say happy, let me give you my definition. Happiness is the ability to maintain and sustain an energy, a vibration, a personal vibration of peace and contentment, regardless of what happens, regardless of what the world throws at you, regardless of your circumstances, regardless of what you're experiencing, regardless of what is going on. How do you maintain this state? It's a practice like anything else. But the first thing, I was thinking about this morning. Contentment, peace, and happiness. When I say it's an energy, you have to value it. You have to believe that it is something of value. And I have to say, what I found is, especially teaching the classes for the last 15 years, the truth about happiness in California, in Oregon, and now in Nevada, what I found is there are a lot of people that value a lot of different things. Even let me just throw this at you, because I hear this: health is wealth. Well, health is how, I mean, and I get that's one perspective, but if you're not happy, if you're not vibrating an energy of contentment, what's the point? But that's my little perspective. And let me just say this. I don't pretend to have all the answers, but what I do know and what I do share is how to practice letting go and eliminating these program behaviors that all of us have been brainwashed and conditioned to believe as truth. Just like that one, health is wealth. That's one perspective. Well, what if you're miserable? How wealthy are you? And what does this wealth mean anyway? Wealth. There are a lot of very wealthy people that, quite frankly, in fact, I was looking at a post today. It was talking about Michael Jackson. I guess today is his birthday, or yesterday was his birthday. Very, very successful by what the world, global figure, talented beyond belief, a musical genius. But I wouldn't want to trade places. I wouldn't want to be in that world, because it was obvious that there is an extreme struggle, internal struggle. And that's what I'm talking about today, living inside versus living outside. But before I do that, let me just share I already shared my definition of happiness, the ability to vibrate an energy of peace regardless of what happens. And again, going back to valuing, thinking that contentment is is worth practicing to maintain, believing that an energy of peace is valuable. And what I found is the majority of people the majority of people which are programmed don't place a high value on vibrating contentment. And contentment doesn't mean that you aren't active and you're not doing something, that you're not contributing, or you're not, making things happen. But underneath all of that, what are you rooted in? Are you moved by what happens externally? What if there's an outcome that you don't? When I say you don't, it's so. Let me just back up a little bit. When I talk about happiness, this is my latest book. It's called Programmed for Unhappiness. It's on Amazon, Exposing the Untold Truth. And in this book, I list 56 program behaviors that subtract from your happiness. And that's what I'm talking about. The programming, the belief that I need to be attached to an outcome, or I need to be attached to anything or anyone, or worrying. In fact, just last couple of days, I had two people that were sent messages to me about their being worried and their concern, and the reason for the worry and concern is just another program. We were all programmed to worry. You didn't pop out of the womb knowing how to worry. So this worrying is a program. And I don't know about you, but that program runs very, very deep. And can you imagine living without that program of worrying? And usually people say to me, yeah, everybody worries. That's just normal. Well, the answer is, the truth of the matter is, no, it's not normal. Everybody doesn't worry, especially when you practice trust. And when you practice trust, it's impossible to worry and trust at the same time. But I'm getting way off the track. When I talk about happiness, I'm talking about a state of mind that you practice to remain in. And how do you remain in a state of mind of contentment and peace and balance and relaxation? How do you do that? By practicing trust, number one. Number two is acceptance of every present moment without resistance. Number three is uh, knowing that whatever is put in front of your path, whatever is in front of you, whatever you come across is there for a reason. Whatever experience you are experiencing is there for a reason. Whether the mind wants to know it or believe it. And that's the other thing. It's transcending the ego, transcending the mind, getting to a place where, let me just speak for myself, I don't identify with the mind. I don't identify with thoughts. I don't identify with stories. Those are outside of my true identity. I know I'm getting a little off here, but let me ask you a couple of questions. Can other people, this is a quick little test. Can other people hurt your feelings? Can other people offend you? Can other people disappoint you? Do you blame other people for how you feel, or do you blame your circumstances for how you feel? And if the answer is yes to any of those questions, guess what? You can experience more happiness. You can experience more peace and contentment if you are willing to practice. And the shocking news is all of the practice is done in the mirror. All of it. The practice has nothing to do with anything outside. The practice has nothing to do with the state of the world. In fact, how you view the state of the world, how you view the world reflects exactly what's going on inside. Okay, inside versus outside, living inside versus living outside. What do I mean by that? Living inside, and this is my interpretation. Living inside means that I am consumed by thoughts. I am consumed by stories. I give attention to thoughts. I give attention to stories. I give power to stories. I give power to thoughts. I believe that the thoughts and the stories are true. In fact, I was reading or listening to a video. I don't remember if I was reading it or I heard it. But one of the things that it was a scientist, or what was it came across my feed, and we're talking about the past and remembering, the memories, and they were saying that the memories aren't even true. I remember a certain perspective about what happens, but my memory is, in other words, I'm remembering a memory. And I know it's a little tricky concept, but remembering a memory, a memory that is already overshadowed by a specific perspective based on program beliefs, based on my programming. And so what the news is, all memories are suspect. I'm not now. Hold on before I get all the emails. I'm not talking about this didn't happen, but I'm saying that the going back and remembering a memory, there's always something off. There's always something. There is always something skewed when you go back, and that's why the practice is practicing living in the present moment. The present moment, which is not an easy practice. So when I say living inside versus living outside, living inside, am I living inside of my head and I only get information and I only get ideas from inside? Or am I living from when I say outside, am I moved by circumstances? Give you a quick example. Something happens at, let me just say this, a house burns down, or my house burns down. Is it possible to experience a house burning down? I'm just coming up with an analogy. Sometimes my analogies, is it possible to experience, I'm just speaking for myself, house burning down without having the emotions go here? Oh, the house burned down. Oh God, now what? Or just maintaining a neutrality. And that's another practice, living in a state of neutrality at all times. So it's not living inside of your head, and it's not, and your vibration and your energy does not depend on what happens. Because most programmed people, 98%, and 98% of the population is programmed. Most programmed people, I feel great when something good happens. And then when something that isn't good, isn't judged as good happens, now I don't feel so good. That's usually the most common program. And what I'm saying is to elevate to another place, another way of living where it's all neutral. And that doesn't mean that you don't have emotions. That doesn't mean you don't have feelings, but all of the emotions and all of the feelings have nothing to do with the stories, nothing to do with an event. And I have a range of emotions and a range of feelings, a huge range of feelings and emotions. However, the practice is not to place a story or a thought or a feeling behind the emotion. In other words, I'm here to experience all the a variety of emotions and feelings because I'm in this human form. And that is the purpose, is in this human form, is to feel and to experience emotions, not only and life, but the attaching a story as to why I'm feeling a certain way is just another programming. And in fact, this is going to really, get ready for this one. One of the things that I practice is not labeling the emotions, good, bad, happy, sad, depressed, anxious, resentful, confused. It's just a practice of I'm feeling, or I'm experiencing feeling. I'm experiencing emotions. And there is absolutely a zero reason why. Ooh, boy, that's crazy, isn't it? There is a zero reason why. Only that it's time. The reason why I'm feeling all these emotions, it's because it's time to feel a particular emotion. It is time to feel a particular feeling. It's not because. And that's freedom right there. So this living inside versus living outside, the truth of the matter is living in the present moment. And it's not an easy practice, but like any other practice, I don't care, because usually most people have some kind of skill, even if it's just the skill to observe, or a skill to be quiet, or a skill to garden, or a painter, or a chef, or an athlete. We're in the football season now, and I was looking at one of the coaches that won, college coach that won yesterday. And oh my goodness, he was just felt so good about the win. And when he was interviewed, he was smiling, and yes, our team stuck together. Everybody did their job. I mean, you can feel the energy. He was just elated. And of course, that's normal. And last year there was an interview when he lost, because he didn't make the playoffs, and he lost, and he banged on the desk, because I remember looking at the interview. He banged on the desk, and it's the same problem. We have the same problem every game. We can't close a game out. And he was very angry. He was And all I'm saying is, you can feel, and all of that is because he believes it's because of either you win or you lose. And what I'm saying is, you can still express yourself, you can still practice, but you don't have to do that. I'm angry because, and of course, if you ask a program person, why am I angry? It's because there's always a reason why. And I'm here to share that there is another way of living this. There is another way of experiencing this life. I'm angry because it's time to be angry. The volcano explodes when it's time, or erupts when it's time. Everything happens when it's time, including this, whatever you're experiencing. If someone's in your life, it's because it's time for them to be in your life. And if it's not, it's time for them to go. And it's a simple truthful, because it is universal truth, way to live. Can you feel the difference to being able to flow with life, with whatever it brings? Back to living inside versus outside. Living inside, what the ego, what my ego, what this mind wants to do 100% of the time is get me caught, is to kidnap me and keep me here in these thoughts. Does that happen to you? Is the mind kidnapping you too? I notice it when I'm on the elliptical in the morning for 30 minutes. It is always just thinking about yesterday, thinking about a plan. There's no way I'm in the present moment if I'm in here and thinking that this is where life is. No, this is not where life is. Life is not in here. Life is awareness. Life is being conscious. Life is the present moment. This mind will take me 100 different journeys in 3 minutes. I could think of 100 different things in 3 minutes. What are we? How many thousands of thoughts does a person have a day? And that's living inside. Living outside means that whatever is happening out there affects my vibration, that whatever is happening out there affects my energy. I'm going to feel good or I'm not going to feel good. So the living inside versus living outside is really the same. And my challenge to you, my dear audience, is to live in the moment. Practice living in the moment. Practice living by or with inspired action. If you value, if you prioritize, if you even think this contentment, this happiness, this inner peace is something that you are interested in, I promise you this, especially for all my people that are, these go-getters and goal makers and accomplish this, all of the accomplishments. I promise you this. After every goal, you probably have experienced this, after every goal met, after every accomplishment, after every, the mind will say, okay, not yet. The mind will say, what's next? The mind will say, I need more. The mind will shout out discontentment. Oh, there'll be a certain amount of contentment for a short period of time. But what I am sharing is that there is a way, there is a practice that this contentment never leaves. Keep doing what you're doing. But when you're rooted in contentment, you have a different type of life experience. Living inside your head, all thoughts, all stories, where most people live. Most people. Or living outside, where the circumstances dictate the feelings, the circumstances dictate the emotions. And I'm here to challenge every single person that is listening. Practice the moment. Practice living in, staying in the moment. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can practice doing that just by being aware. And it for the in the beginning, it seems like it's a lot of work. In the beginning, it seems like it's impossible. In the beginning, it seems like an impossible challenge. But the more you practice, like anything else, the more you practice, the easier it gets. The more you practice, the more you identify with the practice. The more you practice, the more the practice becomes who you are. Living, most are unconscious, talking, "Hi, how are you?" and just talking without even realizing, without even being aware of what you're saying and why you're saying it. And when I say that, that's not to make a judgment, it's just to make a observation. One of my practices lately is to say less. Everything doesn't need to be said. Everything doesn't need to have a comment following. Just listening and being agreeable and being open and sharing. Sharing what? Sharing the practice as an example. As an example of contentment, as an example of peace. One of the things that Rebecca, and I separate Rebecca. One of the things that Rebecca is triggered by, buttons pushed, is the others worrying. Because Rebecca's got this thing about don't worry about me. Doesn't do me any good. It doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do me any good. I mean, how good does it feel that people are worried about you? Usually the answer is it doesn't feel good. And so this whole thing about this adverse feeling of they're worried. Oh God, now I got it. Now I have to make sure you're not worried. It's a whole thing. And let me just say this: the universe gives each and every one of us a custom made, custom built, custom experience to get to for me, and my challenge is different than yours. It's so custom made. It's amazing. It's this life is custom made for each individual. And the universe wants to experience all of it. That's another belief and trust that I don't understand it. I wouldn't want to experience all of it. I only want to experience certain things. The universe wants to experience everything, or else it wouldn't be happening. Let me just share this. This human identity, with the name, with the race, with the culture, with the upbringing, with the titles, all of it, this human identity. Who are you? What the question, what do you do? Who are you? What do you do? My focus, dear audience, is to go beyond that, because beyond this human, what are you? Who do you do? What have you accomplished? Does not feed the soul. And you already know that. The most accomplished, and I mean the most, yeah, I'll think of the most accomplished. I mean, there's a lot of accomplishers out there, but one of the most accomplished that I usually go back and give the analogy is Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, I mean, come on, changed the world with the iPhone and the iPad and Apple products. But Steve Jobs, at the end of his life, realized that all of those accomplishments, all of everything, all of that genius, in fact, there's stories that he was an asshole. All of those accomplishments meant nothing at the end of his life. When he had cancer and, was running around looking for cures all over the world, could afford anything, could afford any experimental drugs, medical, just anything. And there was nothing that he could buy. He couldn't buy his health. He couldn't buy his life. He couldn't buy another 10 years. That's all I'm saying here, is to get it before, I'm not going to say before it's too late, but before it's too late. Get it now. Steve Jobs realized that at the end of his life, that one of his biggest accomplishments and biggest joys was to be able to walk to the park. Walk to the park. And all I'm saying is you can practice all of that. You can practice the vibration of living in, you can practice the challenge of living in the present moment, surrendering and trusting right now. You don't have to wait till the end. And that's today's show. I really appreciate you listening and sharing the show. Thank you for listening. Reality Spirituality Radio is heard every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And now Reality Spirituality. You can also go on the YouTube channel. I have a lot of different YouTube videos that are shorts. And my website is RebeccaNorrington.com. That's RebeccaNorrington.com. YouTube channel, Rebecca Norrington. My Instagram handle is Reality Spirituality. I'm on LinkedIn. My first book, Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, it was published on Amazon in 2014, I believe. But my latest book, Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth, it's a bestseller, international bestseller. But more importantly, this book lists 56 program behaviors and also 56 program behaviors that subtract from a person's happiness. And it lists 26 behaviors that you can practice right away that will add to your happiness. And again, happiness is a practice skill. Contentment is a practice skill. Maintaining a vibration of peace is a practiced skill. And the question comes, what do you value? What do you prioritize? And if you're asking yours truly, contentment is wealth. Inner peace is wealth. And that's it. Until next time, my dear audience, I want you to remember who the hell you are. You are a physical extension of the universe. Your conscious energy, which is always evolving, always changing, always growing. Love is patient and love is kind. Be patient and be kind to yourself by accepting every moment and accepting. There's a few words I don't use. I don't use the word should. I don't use the word mistake. I don't use the word unfortunately. I don't use the word sad. I'm sure there's others, but those are the ones right off the top of my head. Unfortunately and sad, there's an energy attached to that. I don't use any of those words. Aren't I wonderful? Love is patient and love is kind. So that's another. Be your own best friend. One of my favorite quotes is you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. And it is about the journey. That's from Abraham Hicks. It is about the journey. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality Radio with yours truly, global happiness specialist, Rebecca L. Norrington. And remember, happiness, inner peace, and contentment are all practice skills. And I promise you, the more you practice, the more peace you're going to find, and your experience in every moment reflects on what you practice. Have a conscious week. Thank you for listening. Monkey out.
You got a question for RL? You got a question for RL? You got a question? You got a question for RL?
No. Why doesn't this queue up right? There we go.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah.
It's a new experience.
Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. You got a question for RL? Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby.
Michael Jackson. Get down now. Don't you love this song? Shout out to Nathan. Later, alligators.